Time to replace the door handle on the 2000 Camry. You can see it broke off, and I'll show you the reason why over here. The handle itself is held onto this piece, but you can't get your fingers under that because that gets recessed in there. So you pull on this thing, but of course that snaps off because that's where all of the pressure is. So I got a replacement here, which is not the right color, but it's close. So you can see it's certainly not right, but it'll be close enough for a car of this age. This was found this online for about $7 and change, including shipping. So for that, it was definitely worth it. So now we got to take the door panel off. So I've started a little bit here, taking off various things. You got a cover over here that just pries out, and a screw. And coming around down underneath here, you'll find a screw there, and one further on over there. You got a screw in there, a screw in there, and there's a plug in here that comes out. The plug looks like this, and it just pulls out, and there's a screw in there. And there's another clip here I believe we have to pop also. And for that, I think you need like a real fine blade, something in there. You pry up the middle piece, and then the whole thing should pull out after that. So I'm going to continue on. Oh, and there's also the screw here. You got to pop the little cover out and take that screw out. As you can see, I've made some headway. You have to remove the switch panel here. And the way that works is very simple. It's installed obviously like this here. Okay, and you see how it would fit in. You just stick a screwdriver in the back end of flat blade right in here and just pry it up very gently. It doesn't require much force. And then once you get it, you have to take the connector out. So to do that, it has a little squeezy tab on it, as you can tell right here. Now mine was stuck just from being there. See, that's the catch that holds it in. So I actually had to not only squeeze that, but just push in on that with a little flat blade just to get it to clear the connector, and then that came right out. And then you have to take the handle bezel out, which, let me grab it, it's right here. Okay, now obviously we're taking the screw out in the beginning, and the way you get this out is a little counterintuitive. The way it works is when it's in there, you pry. Let me see if I can hold the camera and do it here. You want to pry right where my thumb is, on the inside of it, between the handle that you pull and the bezel itself. You kind of pry out like that. And same thing at the top. You want to keep tension on the back side of it while you do that, and pry up. 2 small flat blade screwdrivers would probably be very handy to do that. And then you pop that out and just work it out. Pull the handle out like that. And now we are pretty much ready to pull the panel off, and then we can actually get at the outer door handle. Okay, as you can see, we now have the door panel off. And one nice thing I did notice is that they used polypropylene drivers for the speakers, but that's not why we came. What we came for, there's a little plastic thing here, a little plastic circle. You got to peel that off. That's going to be your access to one of the bolts. And the other one is through that hole through the plastic. So we're actually just going to cut that and then retape it later. It'll be a lot easier doing it that way. So once I get that off, I'll show you where those bolts are, and I believe they're 10mm. Okay, using your new one as a guide, you can tell where the bolts are on the one that's currently attached. So here's one, and there's the other. This bolt down here is for the lock cylinder, which I believe comes out later. So it mounts up on the outside of the door right there, so you can see one bolt is through that hole I showed you. The other bolt is through there, up at a kind of weird angle. You have to just get your wrench in there. And you will need the window up, because otherwise the window down blocks those bolts. So let's see if we can pull it out now. Okay, so again, here's the new one, and here's the plastic clip. There's a rod that goes right down here, which you can see in the door. It's that shiny brass one kind of in there. It's hard to get a shot of it. You can see it right at the top. and you gotta lift this thing up and pull that out. We have to put a big pair of pliers on, big screwdriver on the end of it through the hole and whack it like that, and that popped it out of the old one. Okay, well, a lot of hell later, we're able to get out the old handle and get the new one in. And as you can see, it does not match the rest of the car, but it is there, it is functional, and that's how it's going to be. This was supposed to be something like a 5-minute job, and as 5-minute jobs go, they turn into 15 minutes and then 15 hours. So now let's just pop everything back together. Of course, you will be left with the broken clips because they never pop because the plastic gets brittle in that. But anyway, the new handle is in, so it's at least functional, and certainly more functional than this old thing that wasn't going to do.